And it's Monday after the close, April 5th, 2010. And I'm Dennis Hudson at orangequant.com, your host. And over the weekend, some of you may have noticed I put up a piece on the Chinese drywall situation and the announcement Friday by a U.S. government office that it all had to be gutted and replaced along with wiring, etc., etc. To the tune of about 100,000 to 200,000 homes at a cost of about 100,000 apiece. And I was talking about the potential effects on the market. I'm going to get into that a little bit further because I watched some things in the market today. I'm going to show you some charts of some things. But first, let me go back to that trade that I closed last Thursday on FSLR. First Solar. You'll remember I had puts on that, and I closed them out last Thursday before the close. Must have been about 2:30 in the afternoon, New York time. I closed them out. And here again is why I closed them and vindication of that reasoning. What I had, if you go back and you look like, I believe it was the Wednesday, it says something Wednesday FSLR trades update or something like that. You go back and you listen to that video, and starting about 30 seconds into it, I talk about how H205 flashed a warning, which I'm not going to go back through here to show you, but this is how H205 out of the FLIR 2 ebook can really save you sometimes and capture profit for you. You can see where I got out, right over there at where that dot is, and I sold the 115 strikes April puts for $1.90, which I had bought at $1.65, and so I sold them right here. I'm going to circle it again. It's already circled, but that's about the price of the stock where I sold it. And then for the rest of that day, Thursday, it continued to lose value as price began to rebound. You can see that happening. And then come Monday, price just jumped way up. And today, those put contracts closed at $1.12 with a low today of 96 cents. So H205 can save you, and this is how. I preserved my profits and got out without suffering a loss. That's the way to play the game. Now, what I had said over the weekend in that Chinese drywall piece was to watch home builders, banks, mortgage companies, anybody who insured the home builders on this, any insurance companies and so on, and because their stocks are likely to be very suspect. And here you have a picture of Hovnanian, the home builder, and their stock went up. You know, it jumped up. You can see that over there. It went up to 464. And here's Beazer Homes jumping up to 488. And U.S. Gypsum, I thought I had a chart for that here, but I don't. So, but USG, if you look that up, you'll see that also went up, which is kind of curious since the government has said all these homes have to be gutted, and somebody has got to pay the tab on this. Now, how do you interpret this? How are we supposed to understand what's going on? I mean, that's a powerful announcement from the government. It's downplayed in the news, kind of buried. It's this drywall story has been going on for a couple of years, but this is a major announcement. So I draw from this one of two conclusions. Either these home builders have got word that they will not be held liable to pay this, and that the Chinese are going to pay it. Okay, that would be, possibility number one. So the big insiders went and bought a bunch of these home builder stocks. Door number two is they believe they will be liable, and this is a fake out. It runs, and you got to watch. I'm sorry I can't give you a really definitive answer of this is what's going on, because I don't know any better than you do. So this could be a fake out to draw in a lot of retailers, and then the stock will start to plummet. Okay. Now, I also mentioned about banks and insurance companies, the banks who financed it, the insurance companies, and so on, how they might be affected. But if you look at the stocks, the banking and insurance stocks, I'm not going to bore you with the charts here. You can go look at them. They all went up, but it was a very suspicious type of move. There's a lot of hesitation in it. The last candle for practically each one of them is it's either a spinning top or a hammer or something like that. It looks like that their charts are about to go down. So I don't know what you want to believe, door number one and door number two. But let me throw in another component to this calculus we're doing here, and that would be, you remember in that video over the weekend I said, look out, because if the Chinese are going to be held liable, what they're going to start doing is dumping treasuries. So here's TLT, the ETF for the 20-year Treasury bond, and you can see it took a tremendous dump. So my theory is the Chinese are dumping. That's driving down the price, as I mentioned in the video, and raising the interest rate on these bonds. And the same thing is happening over here at IEF, the other another ETF on bonds. It's the 7 to 10 year bond ETFs, and look at that dip. I mean, that's a huge gap down. So something here is going on. It looks like the Chinese are liquidating those bonds in order to pay for this fiasco. So again, you take that information back to your home builders, and you have to wonder, is that a fake out or is it real? Okay, that's about all the news I have for tonight. Oh, the SPY. The SPY is knocking against 118 there, up and down over 118. And pretty much it's meeting that resistance that we talked about before in those synthetic trend lines. And believe, it'll just gradually slide into the sunset there. Keep an eye on it. So far, it's performing exactly as the FLIR 2 synthetics forecasted, and I don't expect to see any real change in that. The SPY could make it up to 120. I'll give it around 120, 120, 121, somewhere in there, but I think that's the top, and that's the time to pounce. I'm not saying bet the farm on it, but if you have some discretionary capital and you want to buy some puts on it, I'd buy them out, into September maybe, if those are available. Those contracts are available on the SPY. I'm not sure, but you want to be a few months out to give it time to mature and sloppy on down into no man's land. Alrighty, I'm Dennis Hudson at orangequant.com. You stay put and be happy. We'll see you out there.